Okay. So team, I wanted to introduce you to the Quantum Medical team. They are a neighbor of mine down in South Florida. A couple of us had the opportunity after our Demetech training about a month ago to go and visit the warehouse and get a little bit of a walkthrough. And I think it's similar to any storage solutions that you have potentially done in the past, where they have a full catalog. And the most important thing is for your government entities to know that you offer it. And so they're looking for these products that you're going to be trained on right now. There's somebody at your VA that is looking for one of these products right this minute, and you are now the government partner for Quantum Medical. We'll be adding all of their products to the government contracts. So we want to make sure that the information that you receive with the catalogs and the online catalogs that I've already sent you is forwarded to every person that you speak to, with it, whether it's logistics or departments, because even nurse managers are looking for carts and storage solutions and such. So with that, I'm going to turn it over to Tina and Betty. I'll let you guys introduce yourselves, and we look forward to learning more and how we'll be partnered together.
Well, thank you, Debbie. Welcome, everybody. This is really exciting. I'm not sure how many folks we have. I think we've got 18, maybe 18 folks total. So that's a great group. So we appreciate you letting us be here. We're going to kind of try to get through quite a bit of context today. I'm going to introduce you first to Liz, Liz, you're here, yes?
I am here. I'm not in video because I wasn't expecting to join this, but I'm glad I'm here. My name is Liz, and I live down in Miami. I've been with Quantum for a long time, so I'm a good resource for product type questions. If it's maybe you can't reach Tina or Betty, we'll make sure you have my contact information. But we're all here just to kind of bring you into our world and show you what you now have available for your VAs, and let you know how much we appreciate Debbie and all of you guys going out there and pushing this product for us. We're looking for some really successful ventures.
Indeed. So Liz is our director of healthcare, and she kind of keeps us all on task from top to the bottom. So Betty, if you want to talk a little bit, Betty is going to be probably your single point of contact. I'm available, Liz is available, but Betty's probably going to be the person you work with day in and, well, not probably, she is the person you're going to work with day in and day out, where quotes are needed, where purchase orders are needed, where installation, or however you're going to need help. She's the person that you're going to talk to.
Hello, all. Yes, I will be your center point, but I'm the detail person. So anytime you have a customer that's wanting something non-standard, different, something you don't see in the catalog, so much of what we do is quote unquote custom built to meet the client's specific needs of what they are wanting to store where. So if you don't see it in the catalogs or you don't see it on any of the sample spec sheets, it's just a phone call away for us to talk through it to see what we can create to fulfill your needs. And then we do renderings of those so that you can actually show them, the final product to the customer on a particular cart, whether it's carts with wire shelves, solid shelves, basket carts, Parwell carts, all those things that we're going to go through with you. And again, it's a world of information to know, but between Tina and Liz and I, we will be able to outfit and provide what you actually need or head you in the right direction.
Great.
We already appreciate you, Betty.
Sorry, Debbie, go ahead.
We already appreciate her.
No, she is the best at what she does. You're going to love working together. So I'm going to start. Debbie, has everybody received the link for the rep package?
That included the catalogs and such?
Yes. So it's got a couple folders in there. Okay. So I'm going to, if I can share my screen for just a sec, I'm going to take a look at, and have everybody take a look at what you've received for that link.
And I also just want to start off by pointing out, team, that Quantum had in the past some distributors that were keeping that government kind of in their repertoire, but nobody that really went after it on the medical side. So I think Quantum will be taking you a little bit through their history, but right now, it's sky's the limit, and you guys have the ability to just be a sole provider, boots on the street of quantum medical products. So you should feel very proud to have that and know that the time is right.
Absolutely. This is going to be a great partnership. I'm very excited. We're all very excited about this. We are, like Betty said, we have a great team of resources for you to help sell this product. Can everybody see my screen there? Debbie, am I showing up?
I got you.
Yep,
Yes, we
I
see your
see it.
screen.
Yes.
Sure, what's happening? I can't see. There we go. Okay. We're going to cover the basics, but we're really going to dig into product so that you kind of understand what what we're looking at, how we do it. We've been in healthcare over 30 years, and our manufacturing is based out of Miami, Florida. So if you want to go down and see how bins are made or where we ship or all those things, you are welcome anytime. It's quite an impressive venture there. So all of our shipments come from Miami. Everything is distributed out of our warehouse there. All of our medical team is out of Franklin, Tennessee, a little north of Nashville. And Betty's also in Nashville. From a standpoint of quotes, order processing, CAD drawings, those types of things, that is all based out of the Tennessee market. So we've got folks everywhere, but our product, if you can think about, comes out of Florida, and our support comes out of Tennessee. We have had distribution partnerships for a very long time. But like Debbie said, this is the first one we've had that really focuses on government. We have not been in that market. It's not what we've been comfortable with, and none of our distributors have really put a full focus there. So like she said, sky's the limit here. I know that you have partnerships specifically with what we would call a vendor partner. And I'm showing you this because I want to kind of talk about what the products we manufacture is going to be what is important to you. So we really manufacture the open storage solutions. So I'm going to jump down real quick and sorry, bear with me. Talk about open solutions. So when you're talking about quantum medical from a standpoint of what do we manufacture, what do we do, wire and bins and plastic are the things that you can think of. We really source items that go for storage from the janitor closet to the OR and everything in between. But really what we manufacture, what the core products you're going to focus on is your open wire shelving, your supply storage, your plastic bins. We'll get into all of that, but I just kind of wanted to talk about from a manufacturer standpoint. What are the value added services? I really want to focus on what resource you have working with Betty. Like she said, we are a consultative company. You can look at your catalog and say, I want to get 500 bins and 3 wire shelving units. If you're working with us directly, if a customer's working with us directly, our question would be, what's going in those bins? What's going on that wire shelf? Are we giving you the right build? Are we giving you the right size? So we really are a consultant, a storage consultant company. And you have that as part of your value added services. So you're doing the on-site analysis. We're doing a lot of the project management with you and beside you if you need that help. If you need CAD drawings, we certainly can help you with that. Where are we? Everything related to healthcare. We spend a lot of our times in acute care, but we are also doing freestanding EDs and laboratories. Betty spends a ton of time in pharmacies. So anywhere that you've got healthcare supply storage and you're working with someone in that regard, these products are great for that facility. Okay, we looked at wire. Before we get into actual product, I just want to say if you have a question, if something doesn't make sense, I talk really fast because I'm always worried I'm going to go over time. So if you have a question, if there's just a quick throw your hand up, jump right in. Don't worry about interrupting. We'd kind of like this open, like a round table discussion. If you're thinking of it, somebody else possibly is too. So let's just get it out there. And then if I'm messing something up, Betty and Liz are here to make sure I'm telling you the right things. So we're going to get right into product with our wire shelving. So typically, and I'm going to just venture out to say typically in a hospital, but in a hospital, what we see in hospitals for storage is wire shelving, plastic bins. It's what we've been using for years and years and years. I would say probably 25 years ago-ish, sorry, we had a situation where everybody's using wire and bins, and it's just not enough space anymore. You've all been in a facility where, you know, they built out a space and started as a big giant room, and then they built out that room, and now you've got a closet to store all of your products in. So we needed a solution in addition to the flat wire shelving, in addition to the plastic bins, what works, what doesn't work. So with that said, I'm going to show you kind of our basic product. Sorry, everybody, I'm a little distracted. I'm trying to turn that ringer off. It'll go all day. What I'm going to show you is our basic wire shelving. So this is what you see in facilities all day. You see it in utility carts, linen carts. In addition to the wire, we have multiple finishes. So your standard finish in a hospital is chrome, but we also offer the stainless steel finish for pharmacies. We offer an epoxy finish, which is probably our go-to over chrome even. It's an antimicrobial epoxy coated wire shelving unit. And this is great for pack storage so that, you know, there's no burrs on that wire. It's great really for all environments, honestly. When you are working with chrome in the high humidity of even say Florida, if you've got wire shelving close to the dock in Florida and you've got that humidity there, I mean, you never have humidity, I'm sure. But when you do, if you do, haha, this chrome is going to eventually rust. It's just the nature of it. Chrome rust in high humidity scenarios. It is probably our number one reason to go to green epoxy. And the second reason would be for torn packs. We all have had the IV solutions, the packs, those kinds of things have come off. They have small tears. They have to rewrap, resection, all of those things. So these are just good sources to know what kind of products we offer. We also do a solid polymer, a vented polymer, a vintage shelf. There's all of these items. So basically anything that you see in the market that someone's looking for related to shelving, we have a solution for. When does the shelving not work for that scenario? When you get in and up on the floors and you're using wire with plastic bins, you often get into a storage space issue. So you've got a couple things. You've got plastic bins who offer no visibility. So if I'm looking at a unit, I can only see halfway up in a plastic bin. I don't know what's there. It's got to be labeled properly. That can often cause the nurse hoarding and all of those types of things. So visibility is an issue when you're working with plastic. The other issue would be dust. When we're working with solid plastic baskets, we have dust issues. So we really try to go to a ventilated par wall basket or wire basket or something like that that can really open up those spaces. The most important for me is creating your par levels for the space that you're given in a plastic basket versus creating the par levels or creating the space for the par levels. Sorry. When you're working with something like a par wall unit, you have a full basket. These are all 1 inch divisible on 1 inch increments, and you create the space for what you see here. So you see these small items in the lower left corner. These are all created based on the par level needed. So this is our favorite way to increase storage. So if we're looking at plastic bins that have dust issues, visibility issues, I have no idea what are in these top bins here, what we're trying to do is get them visible. We're trying to create the proper space. You can see this. I don't know if my cursor's working right now. It keeps freezing on me, but you can see this bin here. We can probably fit twice the par level in this space than they're showing. The idea is to create that space for that par level number of supplies. So you can see here, all of these units are full. All of the space is being used. No wasted space from front to back like you see here. No wasted space from top to bottom like you see here. So this is really going to increase your supply storage up to 40%, we've seen as a standard. That depends on what they're storing, how they're using, but we typically see supply storage rooms that look like this. We try to get in there and help them look like this, increase the storage, increase the footprint of the space, whatever your end goal is, that's where the consulting part comes in for us. In
These
addition,
baskets also hang on louver panels. So if you've got a clean utility or clean supply room already existing with some kind of panel, wire louver panel or a metal louver on the wall, we can replace your plastic bins with these hanging baskets.
yes. I also want to bring to your attention the fine mesh. One of the biggest kickbacks we get from customers is all of those small supplies are going to fall through until they see the basket. That basket, it's a fine mesh basket. Nothing is going to fall through there that you're working with. Your syringes, all of those things fit great in the wire mesh, the small wire mesh. But I am going to show you another option that we do, and that's the wire basket cart. So you can see these baskets hang, like Betty mentioned, they hang on a frame or they hang on a wall, either one, on a panel on a wall. These are hanging baskets. They don't, coincide with existing product other than to say, that if you're taking bins off, we can use the same panels. In this regard, looking at that wire shelving unit, you see these flat wire shelves here on the bottom and the top. They are working on a post. They're hung on a post like normal wire shelving. This gives us our second supply option that our wire basket carts typically give us a 20 to 30% increase in supply storage. But what we're working at here is the more bulk items. So when I say bulk items, I don't mean boxes and coming in on pallets. I mean lowest unit of measure product that is larger in size, that takes up a little more space, that doesn't need the fine mesh. So this is really how we mix this product in with the wire basket carts. You can see here, these are larger items, bulkier items, don't need necessarily the fine mesh. You can mix the baskets with flat wire. So this just kind of gives you an idea of our go-to supply storage.
Can I ask a quick question, Tina? Because we've had some logistics folks having heavy concerns surrounding dust and cleaning. And I've heard before concerns even with the wire baskets. As far as, I mean, I know that the dust is going to not adhere, it's going to kind of fall through, but they still feel the need to clean those. And then there's more surface, smaller areas to clean. Do you have recommendation for what to say for those versus the solid baskets or bins?
We typically don't have a lot of feedback on these types of baskets for the dust collecting. Like in these bins, you can take product out of any of these one of bins and you've got an entire bin of dust. We've all seen it, right? We have customers that are wiping them down weekly to get that dust out of bins. We don't see that with the basket cart at all. We have seen it with the par wall, but only when certain products are being stored. So let me go back and see what this picture shows for us on the par wall. So when you've got a par wall basket that's not completely full or that's just, you've kind of got a half fill par level, it's a little harder to see on these. But we have had, some feedback on there being a little bit of dust there, but it's so minimal compared to the plastic. We have not really had any discussions about, I haven't. Liz or Betty, do you have any feedback on
No,
anybody
the only
coming back
thing
with that?
is when you have either a solid shelf at the bottom, or in fact, if you have an inlay across a wire shelf, those are the things that, off of a wire cart that need to be wiped down, but that's the reason that they're there.
Okay, thank you.
There
I
you
talked
go.
a little bit about the epoxy carts, and this is what we're talking about. It's a little easier to see on this one here, that epoxy finish. This is our gray. You really have a hard time distinguishing between gray epoxy and gray chrome unless you're right on top of it. So they're great to intermingle with like an existing wire partner. But sometimes, and I'll tell you why there's a difference in color. We started with the black, then we went to green, and then we realized we could do these in gray, which made a lot more sense since we're already doing chrome. The object of showing you all these is so when you walk into a facility and they say, I need 10 more of this black, epoxy covered shelving unit, we have those. Typically anything related to shelving we'll have in stock. But really we default to this gray shelving unit that's here. When these packs are pulled off, you can see this is a smooth edge. You can run your hand across that. There are no burrs. And not that you feel the burrs in the chrome shelving, but it doesn't matter whose chrome it is. It can be our chrome or Metro's chrome or, whoever's chrome. They're all going to be the same. They're all coming from the same manufacturing type source. They're all done the same way. So with that said, the epoxy is definitely our default, and that's what I would be pushing from a wire standpoint. On the plastic bins, totes, containers, this is not our go-to in healthcare. This is not what we attempt to sell, but I can tell you with all our attempts, with all our trying to get everyone over to the wire, we are still selling bins by the truckloads. We are still getting calls for 30 pallets of bins after 30 pallets of bins. So you're going to still see these. The thing to know about our bins is they're manufactured with all the different colors, all the different things. So every size, I've got bins that I can hold in a hand, and I've got bins that Betty, Liz, and I can all fit in, and everything in between. So I think what you need to know here is there's two that we see in healthcare, or that we at least try to push in healthcare more than the colored, and that's our new. We have clear bins, what we call clear bins, and that's more of an opaque finish. And then we also have now a brand new crystal clear bin, which we've sent you a sample. If anybody's gotten their sample request yet, you will have a sample of the Parwall basket, our smallest size. I'm gonna skip back for just 1 second so I don't forget to tell you this. You're gonna have the smallest size basket, which is a 12 by 12. You're gonna have a divider, and you're gonna have a label holder on that. So you actually have a mobile, if you will, basket to show your end user. In addition, you're going to have a corner shelving, like a sample, if you will, of the gray epoxy. You're also going to have a small, Liz, would you say this is the 220? Can you see that?
It is a 220.
Okay, so you're going to have a small crystal clear 220 bin, and that is a brand new product for us. We've always had the opaque that we called clear, but if I'm honest, it wasn't clear. You can see it's a little muddy here. This is the opaque, so you can still see through it, but it's not like our crystal clear. So the sample you're getting is the crystal clear bin, and you're also getting this in a blue bin right here. So you'll have bin samples. You're still going to get questions about the bins. And so we want you to just be aware of that. So to recap, from a wasted space, low visibility, poor light filtration, magnets for dust, we covered all of that. And then my question would be, what problems do we see with that? So the problems that we address from a consulting standpoint, we talked about the visibility and dust, but in addition to that, the restock issues, the stockouts, the hoarding, expired items, things like that, because we don't know what's in those units. They're expired, the items are just getting put right on top. It's just a storage nightmare. So these are some of the things that we run into on a daily basis, and some of the solutions we try to give, we do the problem solving for. Have you guys worked with the wire track systems in the past? Is that something you've sold?
I have both the top mount and the bottom mount. When I was with my Medline days, a lot of OR areas.
Okay. Any feedback on that? Is it something you liked or didn't like, or not to put you on the spot, but any feedback on are you taking out as many as you're putting in, or are you getting requests for those every time? I'm curious. I can tell you what we think about it, but I'm curious if you have feedback. Whoops,
I
on the
think
track system.
you're spot on, because it depends on how long they've had their existing shelving. If they've had it shelving for quite some time and it wasn't working, they feel like this is going to be the answer to everything. And then if they have it and they don't like it, they want to pull it. So it's really been, it's to Betty's point, it's customized to what the customer wants, but give them our best advice on what the other customers are asking for these days.
Right. Well, and that's what I was going to say, is this is on all over the spectrum, from I love it, I can't use anything else, to please take it out of my hospital as fast as you can. So we will never default to track. It's not going to ever be our recommendation. Doesn't matter if it gives you 3 more wire shelving units, you still have the inefficiency of moving one to get to the other. For me, that inefficiency isn't worth the the effort you're going to save in solutions. So we don't typically run with track. I almost said we don't sell top track. We do. We sell top track. We sell two different bottom tracks that you see here. We sell a skate system for light application, and we sell a heavy duty carriage system for heavy duty applications, instrument cases, IV solutions, bulk storage, that type of thing. It's never going to be our go-to. We still sell it, and I've worked on two today with a project manager, two different project managers, two different tracks. People are still asking for this. 20 years ago, not sure what that is. 20 years ago, we only could increase storage by using track. I needed to increase storage in a room. They're busting at the seams. I'm going to put in a track, and that's going to give them the ability to get an extra wire shelving unit in there. That's no longer the case with our par wall and basket carts and things like that. You now have options to increase supply storage. So we try real hard to make sure the customer knows, even when they bring in and say, I've got to have this track. What we did today, I have a customer that said, I have to have this track, and it had 6,900 linear storage inches. We did an option for that in this small room and ended up with 73. Not a big 7,300, not a big change, but count that against the effort of moving one to get to the other, waiting, those types of things. So track is never going to be our go-to, but keep in mind, we do have it. We will work with pulling out the existing. We will work with a customer that has pulled out their existing tracks, that type of thing, and wants to put a new system in. If we have a customer that's adamant on track, what we typically see is they're pulling out the top track. The top track, the heavier it gets, the more it racks. The harder it is to move. And so we definitely do not recommend a top track for any application. We always go with a floor track. But just to know, we have it, we'll sell it. It's just not our go-to.
One thing too about that what we find when they don't like it or want to pull it out, often they have overloaded it. And again, it comes down to education on the front end compared to what's reality. They first tried putting soft goods on it and they think they can get away with just the skate system. And then they turn around and they're putting case carts and containers on there, and they've tripled the weight of it, and it just won't handle it. And it does, as Tina said, it ends up racking and marring the whole process. Another thing that I like to discuss with them too is the fact of how many people are going to be pulling. If it's one of those situations that they're pulling cases in the late afternoon and everybody that's finished with cases comes in to help the central sterile staff to pull cases, the number of people you've got and how many aisles you've got and what it takes to be able to pull, they lose that efficiencies there. If you've got two people waiting to go into the same unit that only has one aisle in it. So again, it's a manpower situation and discussion, as well as what you're going to be putting on it, what you think you're going to put on it, and what in reality might happen.
Indeed. So you can see here, I wanted to show you these layouts because I think they're important to kind of see, number one, what Betty's able to help you with the drawing standpoint, able to show a room what they want it to be versus what what our recommendation is. This is where our CAD department really becomes instrumental. So this is a client that wanted all track, loves track, can't live without track, is convinced that there's no other way to get as much space in a room. This shows you as 9,000 linear storage inches. We came in and said, we did a review with the end user and said, where are you using, where are you using sutures and where do they need to be? And show us what kind of product you're doing. I believe there was an inventory done of this at some point, but we came back and said, this is really what you need. This is a specialty cart. These are for, bulk supply storage. This is your par wall for fine mesh storage. And so we came back and relaid out that entire space, and you can see they have a total linear storage inches of 11,700. So this just kind of shows you what our ability is to kind of really understand how the customer is using this. This is their drape storage, this is their suture storage, and this is their supply storage here, specialty here. So we are really able to kind of go in and really create an application on the drawings. We also have elevations that will come with your drawings to show you our whole goal in this is that you do not have any surprises. Nothing makes us more unhappy than just having a customer that says, well, I thought I was getting this, but I got that. I thought I was getting 5 baskets and I got 4 baskets. So you can see here, this is a 3 shelf, 4 basket application. This was built specific to a customer. We don't do solid shelves on the top unless somebody's asking for that specifically. So we can custom product like this all day long. We can customize anything. You want 3 baskets and 4 shelves. You want 3 baskets and 2 shelves. We can do all of those things. I will tell you, we have a default for everything. We try really hard not to customize our product unless it's specific to a specific storage. We try really hard to go with what works for us. A 7-tier parwall basket, a 3 shelf, 4 basket cart, a 5-tier wire shelving unit. These are kind of standards for us. If we're doing drapes, we're going to put back and end screens on it. If we're doing sutures, we're going to use the slanted shelves. So we have a standard for everything, and we'll look at that in a bit to show you what I mean by that. But just know that from a customized standpoint, if you want to customize it, if you have that customer that needs something very specialized, we can do that as well. Debbie, remind me if you have your own installation teams.
We do not, however, on individual basis, if that becomes a need and you don't have a team locally, then sometimes my sales force is able to find someone in their area.
Okay, so we have installation. So we have an installation solution for everywhere in the country. Our guys they're a large team of gentlemen who are insured and qualified and all the things for large installations. So if you're doing a hospital renovation and you've got 15 rooms that need to be installed, our guys are on site, receive the product, put it together, get a sign off. We also have installation coordinators, logistics coordinators, so you know when that product's coming. Our installation manager works with your end user to find out where the trash is. It going to be separated to cardboard and trash? What elevators are we using? Again, it goes back to no surprises for everything with our company. So where there's a need for install, if you need install, we will quote that as a separate line item. Again, just for you to know that's an option.
And then what about assembly? If it's a cart, do they have the option of it arriving pre-assembled or they have to assemble on site?
Yes, we also have pre-assembly. So we have 3 different ways we can do that. We can drop ship product. They can put it together themselves. That's one. We rarely see that with our product. We do, if it's wire shelving, like something like that, and it's say 4 to 5 units, we can send that assembled. And then anything that's got a little bit of meat to it that's larger, that might be more complicated, that's our, complicated like a track or parwall system, that type of thing. We typically recommend you do installation on that. And we can come out and assemble on site or in a local warehouse or however they want to do that. So Betty will work with you on a case by case to determine what your options are, but you do have the option of having that shipped assembled from Florida. And you want to weigh out, is it going to, my assembly cost is less, but it's my shipping cost is going to double. So what's the better option? Do we assemble it or do we have it installed? Either way, whatever makes the most sense for your customer, whatever makes the most sense for the budget, you're going to find, what works is to, work with Betty and get a solution, get your cost and your freight and all of those things kind of built in from the start.
And remember, guys, they can only charge $250 for freight. So any freight above that amount, we put into the cost of the product. And you can work with me on that.
Perfect.
Another thing too is in there is, if in fact there's someone on site that's going to assemble it, we have what I call user-friendly assembly instructions that are specific to the type of a cart. I mean, it goes down to tell you you're going to need a box knife, you're going to need a pallet, you're going to need a flat surface. I mean, it's really works through and helps them know what goes where.
Yes. I'm going to run through some miscellaneous carts. A lot of folks, we talk about storage and wire. A lot of things don't cross your mind when we're talking about, you're thinking about quantum. Um, these are more about where you're going to see our products and what type of products you're going to run into. So things like dunnage racks. We have so many different kinds, the wire, the graded, what is wrong with me? The pallet jack, where you can move them with the pallet jack. I don't think that's the way I was supposed to say that, but you know what I mean. Utility carts, same thing. We have our standard utility cart builds that you'll see in our catalogs. One with the handle here, the U handles, which we do not love, but customers seem to like them. And then we have things like the polymer utility cart, where, if you're going to put that up against Rubbermaid point for point, I believe you've got about $100, used to have about $150 savings in that cart from Quantum. So just things to be thinking about. Same things with our complements. I mean, our wrap carts, these are things you don't often think about us for, but it is wire solution worthy. So these items here, the flammable carts, the cylinder racks, the bulk trucks, in order for us to be conception to completion, these are things my team works with to fill in the blanks. It sounds to me like you have all of these things already. You probably don't need to work through Quantum on something like a bulk truck. You can just go ahead and purchase a bulk truck directly. In the event that there are items that you run into related to storage or facilities that isn't something that you're already set up for, Betty's happy to walk you through some of these items as well. Corner carts. This is, we came up with this not terribly long ago, and it's probably one of my favorite products. We all have that pantry where we put the soup in the back corner that we're never going to use, or the baked beans or whatever it might be, and we don't remember they're there and we can't get to them and they're all piled on top of each other. We have the same things in clean utility areas. And so what this does is this opens up that corner. It's great for larger storage, that type of thing. So just know that we have a corner unit. Instrument storage, we partner with really great companies for hands-off instrument storage, which is becoming a very big thing right now. So if you've worked with the Balintras of the world or the DSIs of the world or things like that, we have a partner that we work with that is wonderful at that and has all of the solutions. So know that's something that we can work with you on. And then our hanging label tag, my other favorite thing, you're going to get a bag of these in your sample kit. I'm not sure what color you'll end up with, but basically it's two-sided. One side is for a sticker label and the other side is it has a little insert clip on the side here that you see. And that's for an insert clip. So these can be hung directly on any wire solution that you have. This came about because we have plastic bins and clean utilities that have been color coordinated by your material management. They've said, I want yellow to be ortho, I want green to be urology. Well, however they're doing it, or they may be doing it by inventory levels or whatever it might be, but they've color coded those plastic bins by color. That was tough when we brought in the wire and said, we want you to move to wire. And they said, well, that needs to be red wire and that needs to be yellow wire. So that's how this came about. And you'll find that we probably sell more hanging label tags than we sell anything else. It is just the best little product. It's pretty great. New products. The millennial shelving's a lot like the help, Betty, Liz, what is it called?
Metromax.
Metromax, thank you. So we get a lot of customers that want to know if we sell Metromax product, and this is exactly what that is, basically. So Metromax has been in the industry a very, very long time. So what we see here is folks trying to match existing Metromax, and so just know we have a product for that. The other thing is wire shelf covers. This is one of our newest products, and this thing is wonderful. Bottom shelf inlays, we have to have a solid bottom in healthcare. We have to do that plastic shelf inlay or a solid bottom. Solid bottoms can get expensive. This plastic shelf inlay actually wraps around the outside of the shelving unit, so it doesn't move every time you put something on or take something off. It's pretty great. So know we have that. And then our very newest line is waste receptacles. So we're going to talk a little bit more about those, but just know that we've got everything that Rubbermaid does relate, not everything. I don't actually know the answer to everything, but the most popular that you see with Rubbermaid, we have these options, a Slim Jim option, those types of things. We now manufacture this product. It is stocked and ready to ship. So that was my very quick product analysis, conception to completion, everything in between for your single source solution for supply storage needs. Any questions on product? I'm gonna jump over real quick. The link, your rep package link that I sent out to you, or that Debbie sent out to you, has these folders in it so that you can access the presentation that we just went over. I gave it to you in PowerPoint and Dropbox so that you can put whatever logo you want on that. If you want your customer's logo, if you want to print these, you're going to get a copy in your sample pack. Sorry, in your binder package. We'll talk about that too. You've got catalogs, a couple of catalogs were able to come out. We'll talk about the catalog situation. The presentation that we just did, we print that and bind that for you so that you will have that more as a flip chart, if you will, or an at a glance for your customer. And then, if you want to print that or you want to carry that, this is our change that, delete slides, that's all here for you under presentations. Our catalogs, for those of you who were able to get one of these catalogs, this catalog is going to look like this. It's very outdated, and we do something that most people don't. We don't work from a catalog. So why will this not open for me? Not sure what's happening. Here we go. This catalog was done, goodness, 13 years ago. And we found that we just don't work from the catalog. So it was not really ever our priority based on the fact that we go in and try to assess the needs versus most people aren't buying our products out of a catalog. So you're going to see this catalog. It's great for you to touch back about a resource to find out what can we do. You'll see stainless steel work tables, case carts, those types of things are all things that everything here we do in-house, the hampers, those types of things we manufacture. So, this is a great catalog for that, but there's a lot of product in here. Like we don't recommend, like we know this is a discontinued item, this VersaWorks partition wall. This whole section is discontinued. So what we've done, see if I can get this to open. I've gone through and edited the catalog that you have here, and we are going to print this edited version out and send you a binder with this in it. We're also going to send you the presentation bounded. So that's coming out very soon. And you'll see where we get to, can't get, there we go. You can see where I've marked through, these are discontinued. This is a discontinued product. So we are hoping to have our new catalog brochures out by first of the year, and you'll be the first we send them to. I'll keep you posted on that. In the meantime, if you'll help us kind of limp along with utilizing the PowerPoint or spec sheets, we also do spec sheets that we can, get for you as well. Our spec sheets, I've given you a file that says cheat sheet specs, and basically this is our spec sheets that we use in place of the catalog. Typically, we're going to send you out something without a drawing. We're typically going to send it with a spec sheet. So again, that your customer knows what we're doing there. These, I have a new Adobe and I'm trying real hard to learn it and I'm clearly failing. So bear with me. Goodness gracious. These spec sheets are going to give you the basic dimensions and a photo, but also on these cheat sheet, I'm not sure what happened there, but on these cheat sheets, we have standardized products. So if you called and said, Betty, I've got a customer that is doing labor and delivery, clean utility area, and I need to know what products you would put in there. If you were to flip through the cheat sheets, we're going to put labor and delivery, clean utility, all of these items that we use in specific areas. for instance, the cylinder rack, we're going to use that in clean utility. We're going to use the cylinder rack, the red cylinder rack. I'm struggling with my computer here, folks. Bear with me. We're going to use the red cylinder rack in soiled utility. One more time. Soiled utility to represent the empty cylinders, and then we use yellow for partial. This is just our standard. If a customer says, throw your standards into a drawing and show us what you would do for these spaces, this is going to be our start. We have a spreadsheet. We say, these are the areas we see this product. It's a great little cheat sheet that our reps use and that my project managers use to say, where would we put that? What kind of what kind of flammable cabinet would we use in lab? What kind of flammable cabinet would we use in pharmacy? It's just kind of a cheat sheet for us. And so this is all available to you in your folder in the event, goodness gracious, in the event that you want to access that. There's miscellaneous catalogs under our catalog folder that shows you, this one specifically is for bins. So if you want to flip through that catalog, you'll see that this is just all bin related. And then there's just a couple of different things there. In addition, on your rep package, we've got a couple of forms for you to be able to access. I'm going to go CAD checklist, warranty returns. Take a look at those when you get a chance. Nothing that you wouldn't expect those to be. I'm going to take a look at the meet the team. And this is just for your review. You've met Liz and I and Betty here. Betty's in bold, main point of contact. But there's several people on here that you might, need directly. Joe may reach out to you and say, hey, I'm the CAD guy. I've got questions. You may have an installation. Jamie and Maddie are the people that we work with from an installation and logistics standpoint. If you are close to Tennessee, or even if you're not close to Tennessee, but you've got a customer that's doing a big facility and they want to see product, we have a showroom available in our Franklin office, and it's wonderful. We're happy to bring clients in, show them what we do. So know that that's an option as well. So that's your contact sheet. The only other thing we'll look at here is the CAD, quote, CAD protocol. And this is just how we send in all our requests. It's going to go to Betty. What are some of the things we're looking for when you're asking for a quote? Things like, be as detailed as you can. When you're sending in a wire shelving unit, what size do you need? What's the depth? What's the width? If you don't know, do you have dimensions so that we can fit it in through CAD? What wire type, chrome, epoxy, how many tiers? The best way to, if you don't have this information, the best way to walk through this information is, what are they using it for? And Betty will help with, here are the questions we need to get answers on. We have noted our install.
If you're on site too, feel free to take as many photos as you want to that will give us a point of reference.
So, these are just great things to, what do we need if we're trying to get CAD started? These are just the things that, just are kind of at a glance on how we would like a quote submitted and what you need to think about, what thoughts you need to have while you're walking through this. Okay, let's get to, there's some flyers to go through. Debbie, you mentioned a glove rollout. I wasn't sure what that was, so I just put some good glove options. I don't know if you'd had a chance to look at this, or even if this was in the vicinity of what you were talking about with a rollout.
I was just indicating that a handful of our reps are converting exam gloves house-wide over to American Nitrile. And with that, they typically go department to department. And so having information on products like yours is a great handout to reach and touch several different departments within the hospital with the information that B&D now supports all of these products of yours.
Okay, great. So I did include this flyer just because I thought this might be helpful if you're changing out gloves, that you might have an opportunity to change out the storage and how they're doing it. If they're using these on flat wire, that's, not going to be the best solution if they're keeping them in boxes. This basket cart's a great solution for glove storage. So that's also included in your package here, your link. So the last thing I want to talk about is your promo, and you've got a couple in here just because I wasn't sure what I did here, but I think one of them has your logo, one of them has ours. I just, after the fact, I thought about it. But basically we're doing a waste receptacle promo. That's not sexy, but it is a really good opportunity to get us in the door with, hey, this is a great product. These are our cut sheets for that. And you have an additional 3% margin on that to work with. So that's a special pricing through the end of the year, starting October 1st. So we just put this flyer together for you guys to have, something to kind of put through. I also did the one that includes, I believe it's your logo on this one, but they're all there for you to change, work with, however you want to do those. Nope, I'm not sure how I pulled that twice, but that gives you the idea. And so with that said, I'm looking at my notes. I didn't look at my notes, so I want to make sure I've covered everything that we wanted to talk about. Debbie, can you think of anything, or Betty, can you think of anything we have not talked about through this?
No,
I'd like to open it up to see if there's any questions from the reps in our last few minutes here. Anyone have any questions or people they know they're going to show this to?
Well, Betty's available. Any questions you have, you could certainly reach out to all of us. But Betty's ready to help you get quotes in, all of those things.
Or even prep for, when you know what you're going in for, that I can give you a little guidance even before you make that initial contact. I'm more than happy to help with that.
That's very appreciated, Betty. I think a lot of these products are pretty self-explanatory to the reps, and guys, it'll be self-explanatory to your customers as well. They just need to know that you represent them.
Yep. Here to help.
Well, thank you very much.
Well, thank you. We've certainly covered a lot. I would love to know if you have not received your sample packet by the end of the week, please reach out and let us know, because they should all be out. You should be receiving those any day if you haven't already. And then Debbie, we're going to get those binders with the edited catalog and the the binded presentation. We'll get those out. I'm hoping by the end of this week, we'll be able to get that fixed and back on track. So those should be out soon as well.
Great, thank you.
Well, thank you, everybody. Have a wonderful week.
Thank you. Appreciate
We
it.
look
You
forward
too.
to
Thank
working
you.
with you.
Bye-bye.
Thanks. Bye-bye.
Bye.